Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Sarosh and I am a foundation level student at Rehan School, FIT campus Islamabad, and today I am doing my ChatGPT and my topic is sorry not sorry. So let's start it. Hello ChatGPT, can you listen me?
Yes, absolutely, Sarosh. I'm here and ready to listen. Go ahead and tell me what you'd like to discuss about Sorry Not Sorry, and I'll help you along the way.
So ChatGPT, today I have some question for you. Can we start it?
Of course, I'd be happy to. Just let me know what your first question is, and we'll dive right in.
Okay. So my first question is that what does the phrase sorry not sorry actually mean?
Great starting point. So, sorry, not sorry is a pretty modern phrase. It's kind of a way of expressing a faux apology. Like you say you're sorry, but you're really not feeling regretful. It often conveys confidence or defiance, like you stand by what you did, even if it might rub someone the wrong way.
So ChatGPT, tell me that why do people use this phrase instead of a real apology?
Yeah, that's a really good question. People often use it when they want to assert themselves or maintain their boundaries without feeling vulnerable. It kind of flips the traditional apology. So instead of being submissive, they're just being unapologetic and confident about their choices.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that is sorry not sorry polite or sarcastic?
That's a really interesting point. It's generally considered more on the sassy or self assured side, so it's not typically polite in a traditional sense. That said, the tone and context really matter. Sometimes it can be playful, other times it can come off as dismissive.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that when did this phrase become popular?
Yeah, so the phrase really started gaining traction in the early 2010s, especially with the rise of social media and pop culture. A lot of celebrities, influencers, and even TV shows started using it, so it just kind of took off as a catchy phrase for assertiveness.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that does the phrase show confidence or attitude?
Yeah, definitely. It's often used to show confidence because instead of backing down or apologizing too much, you're standing firm. But depending on the situation, it can also carry a bit of attitude since it's like, I don't really regret this and I'm standing by it.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that is it an apology or a statement of self-expression?
That's a great distinction. It's really more of a statement of self expression. You're expressing yourself, owning your actions, and maybe defying expectations. So it's not really a traditional ecology, even though it uses that word.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that why do people feel empowered saying sorry not sorry?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is that it lets people take control of how they're seen. By using sorry, not sorry, they're refusing to be pushed around by guilt or external expectations. It's like they're owning their choices and standing tall in their confidence.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that where did sorry not sorry originate?
Yeah, so it's a bit tricky to pin down exactly, but a big moment was in 2011 when the song Sorry Not Sorry by Demi Lovato came out. That kind of gave it a huge cultural boost. But the phrase itself was probably floating around before that in internet culture and everyday conversation.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that did social media help popularize the phrase?
Oh, absolutely. Social media was a huge factor. People started using it in tweets, captions, and memes, and influencers really ran with it. So it kind of took off as a go to phrase for asserting yourself or pushing back against criticism.
So ChatGPT, tell me that how has modern language changed apologize?
Yeah, that's a fascinating shift. I mean, in a lot of ways, modern language has become less formal. Apologies are no longer just about saying, I'm sorry, and leaving it at that. They've become more nuanced. People now often add qualifiers or even use phrases like sorry, not sorry to redefine how they express accountability or independence.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that why do slang phrases spread quickly today?
Yeah, so slang phrases spread quickly today because of the speed of social media and how interconnected we are online. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter let a phrase catch on in just a few hours. So once influencers or celebrities use it, it just explodes across the internet.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that how did pop cultures influence this expression?
Yeah, pop culture really played a huge role. I mean, TV shows, music, movies, they all started using the phrase in a bold way. Artists like Demi Lovato or even shows like Glee gave it a spotlight. So it became kind of a cultural shorthand for being unapologetic.
So ChatGPT has human shaped the phrase's popularity.
Yeah, absolutely. Humor really played a big role. A lot of people use sorry, not sorry with a wink or in a kind of tongue in cheek way, especially online. When something feels confident but also playful, it invites people to share it, so it really amplified how widely it spread.
So ChatGPT tell me that why is sorry not sorry common on social media captions?
Yeah, it's super common because it's short, punchy, and it conveys a lot of attitude in just a few words. On social media, people want to grab attention quickly, and this phrase kind of does both. It signals confidence and gives a bit of edge, so it's perfect for those standout captions.
So ChatGPT tell me that how do influencers use this phrase online?
Yeah, influencers love it because it lets them project confidence and independence. They often use it when they post about achievements, bold opinions, or even when they're just being unapologetically themselves. It kind of aligns with their personal brand. So followers pick up on it and it just keeps spreading.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that why do younger generations relate to it?
Yeah, a lot of younger generations really relate to it because it feels empowering. They're often navigating a world where they're told to be smaller or more apologetic. So when they see this phrase, it gives them permission to stand tall, own their choices, and not feel bad about setting boundaries.
So ChatGPT is the phrase part of meme culture.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely part of meme culture. People use it to caption funny or bold images or even as a punchline in relatable posts. It's kind of a shorthand for being unapologetic. So it fits right into meme language.
So ChatGPT can emojis change the tone of sorry not sorry?
Oh, totally. Emojis can really soften or shift the tone. For example, a wink or a smirk emoji can make it playful, while a heart or a sad face might make it more sincere or ironic. So depending on the emoji, it really changes how people perceive it.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that does digital communication encourage bold expressions?
Yeah, definitely. Digital communication kind of removes a lot of the immediate social pressure, so people feel freer to be bolder. They can craft their messages, choose their tone, and even use things like hashtags or phrases like sorry, not sorry that would feel more risky in person.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that does sorry not sorry reflect confidence?
Yeah, it often does. When someone uses sorry, not sorry, it's like they're saying, I own my actions and I'm not going to shrink back. So it really projects this sense of self assurance, even if it's a little tongue in cheek.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that why do people avoid traditional apologies today?
Yeah, a lot of people avoid traditional apologies because they can feel passive or submissive. These modern phrases, like sorry, not sorry, let people take ownership of their choices without feeling weak or overly vulnerable. So it's kind of a way to balance accountability with self assurance.
So ChatGPT, can the phrase protect self-esteem?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be a way to set boundaries and assert yourself without feeling like you're giving too much ground. By saying sorry, not sorry, you're protecting your sense of identity, making it clear you stand by your actions and you're not just folding under pressure.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that is it a way of getting personal boundaries?
Yeah, exactly. It's often used as a tool for setting personal boundaries. By saying it, you're signaling that you won't apologize or shrink yourself just to please others. You're standing firm in your values.
Okay, that's a great answer. So ChatGPT, tell me that why do people mix humor with apology?
Yeah, that's a really good point. People often mix humor with an apology because it helps diffuse tension. It softens the blow, makes the interaction feel less heavy, and it can make the person seem more relatable or human. So it kind of balances accountability with approachability.
So my next question is that does sarcasm help express true feelings?
Yeah, it can. Sarcasm often lets people express frustration or skepticism when they don't feel comfortable being direct. So even though it's indirect, it can actually reveal underlying emotions that a straightforward apology might not.
So ChatGPT, can sorry not sorry hurt relationships?
Yeah, it definitely can, especially if the other person expects a sincere apology. If it comes across as dismissive or flippant, it can make them feel unheard or invalidated. So tone and context really matter in using it.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that when is it acceptable to use this phrase?
Yeah, it's really best used in casual or informal settings where the tone is playful or you're with people who already understand your sense of humor or confidence. It's not really suited for serious or deeply emotional situations. Then a genuine, thoughtful apology is usually better.
So ChatGPT, does tone determine whether it sounds rude?
Yeah, absolutely. Tone is everything. If it's playful or self aware, it can land as confident or cheeky. But if it's flat or dismissive, it can come off as rude or uncaring. So the emotional context and how you say it really shapes how it's received.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that how do friends interpret it differently from strangers?
Yeah, that's a great point. Friends often interpret it more playfully because they know your intent and personality, so it can feel like an inside joke. But strangers or people you don't know well might take it at face value, and that's when it can come across as rude or dismissive since they don't have that background.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that how do friends interpret it differently from strangers, and can humor soften bold statements?
Exactly. So with friends, humor often acts like a kind of shorthand. It signals trust and it makes bold statements feel safe or lighter. But with strangers, humor can be more risky. If it's not read the right way, it might seem dismissive or even arrogant. So yeah, humor can definitely soften boldness, but only if the audience is on the same page.
So ChatGPT, does the phrase promote honesty?
Yeah, it can. I mean, because it's bold and unapologetic, it kind of gives people a sense of ownership over their actions. So, in a way, it can inspire others to be more assertive or to stand by their choices. But of course, the key is context. When it's used thoughtfully, it can be really empowering.
Okay. So my next question is that is sorry not sorry understood globally?
Yeah, for the most part, it is. I mean, it's really taken off in global pop culture, especially online. So, even if someone's not fluent in English, they usually get the vibe of it. It's confident, a bit defiant, and kind of sassy.
Okay, so my next question is that how do cultures react to indirect apologies?
Yeah, that's a great question. Cultures really vary here. In some cultures, indirect apologies can be seen as disrespectful or evasive, while in others, they're just a more subtle, nuanced way of maintaining harmony.
So
So it really depends.
ChatGPT, are modern generations redefining politeness?
Yeah, they really are. Modern generations are moving away from rigid traditional politeness rules. Instead, they're favoring authenticity, directness, and even a bit of humor. So a phrase like sorry, not sorry is part of that shift. It's a more casual, confident form of communication.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that does society encourage self-expression more today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially with social media and the rise of personal brands, society really emphasizes self expression, whether it's through language, fashion, or even bold phrases like this. So people feel encouraged to be more authentic and assertive in how they present themselves.
So my next question is that how does culture influence communication style?
Yeah, culture plays a huge role. Different cultures have distinct expectations about politeness, hierarchy, and even how direct you should be. So in some cultures, indirect or formal language is valued, while in others, like many Western contexts, directness and assertiveness are seen as more authentic.
So ChatGPT, is sorry not sorry appropriate in workplaces?
I'd say it depends on the workplace culture. In more casual or creative environments, it might be seen as confident and refreshing. But in more formal or traditional workplaces, it could come across as unprofessional or flippant. So it's really all about knowing your audience and context.
Okay, ChatGPT, my next question is that can readers use humor instead of apology?
Yeah, they can, but they have to be really careful with it. Humor can lighten the mood and make a message more relatable, but if it's not balanced well, it can seem insincere or dismissive. So when a real apology is needed, it's usually best to keep it straightforward, and then you can sprinkle in humor later once trust is reestablished.
So my next question is that how should professionals balance honesty and respect?
Yeah, that's a great balance to strike. Professionals should be honest and clear about their feelings or mistakes, but they can do it with a respectful tone. So, being sincere, acknowledging responsibility, and then, if appropriate, a little like humor, positivity afterward can help keep the tone constructive.
So ChatGPT, my next question is that does confidence sometimes replace apology in leadership, and can bold communication build personal branding?
Yeah, exactly. In leadership, confidence can sometimes stand in for a formal apology, especially if the leader takes ownership and commits to action. And yes, bold communication is a huge part of personal branding. It helps people stand out, be memorable, and really define how they're perceived.
So ChatGPT, does the phrase reflect individuality?
Yeah, it really does. The phrase lets someone express their personal stance, their autonomy, and it kind of pushes back against the idea that they need to constantly apologize or fit a mold. So, yeah,
Okay, so my next question is that can it encourage self acceptance?
yeah, absolutely. By using sorry, not sorry, people can affirm their choices and stand by who they are, which builds a sense of self acceptance. It's like saying, I don't need to shrink or apologize for being myself. And that can be really empowering.
So viewers, this is my ChatGPT. Hope so you like it. Meet you in next video. Pakistan Zindabad. Khuda Hafiz.